Thanks. I'm with Assistant General Manager Billy Eppler. Billy, about 2 weeks into the season now, what's your impression, your early impression of this team?
Well, we're scoring some runs. That's good to see. I think we're maybe fifth in runs scored in the league right now. We're hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Our hitters are drawing walks. Our bullpen's been good. Our starting pitching has been pretty good. And we're striking guys out. We're getting ground balls. So all in all, we're pretty happy with where we're at. I mean, the record doesn't indicate that right now, but the elements for having a good record, they're there.
You talk about the offense and hitting the ball out of the park. You're up towards the top of the AL, obviously, very early in this season. But how encouraged are you by that, the fact that they are hitting some home runs?
I mean, very encouraged. I mean, the DNA of this club, the DNA of this franchise has kind of been bomb, hit the ball out of the ballpark, hit the ball hard, find your pitch, be selective, and when you get a chance to swing, put a good swing on it and impact the baseball, and they're doing that right now, so it's good to see.
Any concern over the way Carlos Beltran has started the season?
No concern, because again, with Carlos, we're able to look in some advanced metrics right now and see how hard he's striking the ball, and he is actually striking the ball pretty hard at an above average clip, and Carlos is just getting his legs underneath him, and he's striking the ball pretty well.
You look at Alex Rodriguez, he's arguably been the best hitter on the team so far. How surprised are you with the way he's come on to start the season?
I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I mean, we're talking about one of the premier players in the game, and so when you talk about that level of talent, you shouldn't really be surprised. The layoff, yeah, it was a long layoff, but he took a lot of at-bats in spring training. He really approached this spring training almost like he was a younger player and accumulating at-bats, and you started to notice about the third week of spring training, he was really striking the ball well. In BP, the ball was coming off his bat really well, and so I mean, he's put himself in a position to do good things, and that's what we're witnessing.
Has he exceeded expectations so far?
It's kind of hard to I guess, qualify that. He's doing things that we're very pleased with. I'll put it to you like that.
As far as the pitching staff is concerned, you look at Masahiro Tanaka. He looked like his old self last night.
Yeah.
How much concern was there coming into this season? Was the elbow going to hold up? Is the elbow going to hold up?
Nobody has a crystal ball, but I will tell you that he has tremendous pitching acumen. I mean, this is a young player by his birth certificate, but he pitches like a 10-year veteran over here. So he knows what he's doing, and he knows what he needs to do. I thought Brian McCann called a phenomenal game last night. They seemed to be on the same page just about with everything they wanted to do, and that was vintage Tanaka right there.
First two starts, he didn't necessarily look like his old self. Did you need to see something like you saw last night to feel good about Tanaka?
Well, you always want to see progress, and if they're going in the right direction and the arrow's pointing in the right direction, that's going to give you a lot of comfort. And I think that's what we have now moving forward.
With McCann, how much more comfortable does he look this year?
He looks pretty comfortable. One of the things about Mac that I think kind of didn't really get brought to light last year was just how good he was receiving and just how good he was handling a pitching staff. I mean, the catching position is an extremely demanding position. It's one of the only positions, or it is the only position on the field that you're responsible for 12 other players. And McCann takes that responsibility very seriously. And, so the offense wasn't exactly where he wanted it to be last year. The homers were, the average, the on-base was a little bit lower than I think what his expectations were, but we're extremely happy with him. And yeah, he's having some fun right now. There's no question. When
you look at the stretch that you guys are in right now, a lot of games, not a lot of off days. Do you need to bring somebody up and give some of the pitchers an extra day off? Is that something that you'll likely do during this stretch?
It's a consideration. It's probably one for Joe and Larry to really spitball and then get Brian involved and kind of figure out. But it is something that we could do, but it's not something that we have to do. And
looking forward, as far as the bullpen is concerned and the way they've worked themselves out so far, I have to imagine that's a bright spot that you guys look at right now.
Yeah, no doubt. They all kind of just figure themselves out. There are a lot of new guys here, and a lot of guys are trying to make an impression. And with that comes trying to figure out the roles and who's going to do what. But Joe and Larry do a tremendous job handling that bullpen, and I think we'll continue to see some of the same here.
Betances looking better, more like himself?
No doubt. The shape of the curveball is what I really noticed. In the last couple outings, it went more from a side-to-side curveball, more to that traditional 12-6 overhand curveball that kind of freezes the hitter. So yeah, it was good to see that. The shape told me a lot.
Now, in the season so far, you've seen pretty much everybody in the AL East. It's kind of odd to see everybody this early. What do you think about the teams, the competition in the AL East so far?
I think it's going to be a slugfest. I think it's going to come down to the last couple weeks of the season, and I think everybody's got a really good shot at walking with the crown.
Before I let you go, what are you most looking forward to this season?
Watching the young players develop. I mean, I'd be remiss to not talk about the kids down in the minor leagues. I'm excited. I'm actually going to make a trip to Scranton here shortly, and then Trenton shortly thereafter. And I'm excited about watching them. And then up here, how guys gel. There's a lot of new faces running around, and that's just fun to kind of watch a team come together. And we're starting to see it happen right now.
Billy, thanks for the time.
Okay, thank you.